So, who here has heard of the Tennessee Conservative? Brandon Lewis, what a man, what a patriot, and what a movement. I mean, we all get his emails. We get all the work that this man has done. Completely grateful. Tennessee's largest and a conservative news alternative. Brandon Lewis, everyone.
What's going on, fellas? You know, there's this term, it's called fair weather patriot. So you are not fair weather patriots. It's a testament to your commitment. And I heard that some people subscribe. That's awesome. You're my second fan. Thank you for being here. So I do run the Tennessee Conservative News. Raise your hand if you've never heard of it. Don't subscribe to it. Don't even know what's going on to you. It's okay. We're going to go over some stuff in state government, and you're not going to know what in the world's going on because you don't subscribe to us, because we're the only people that covers it in the entire state. So my background previously, I grew up in Arab, Alabama. My daddy couldn't read or write. He had clubfoot, facial deformities. We lived in an old sawmill slat house with burnt carpet on the floor, unpainted wafer board ceilings. This was not 1955. This was 1995. And so we just grew up poor white trash. But Dad's like, you're going to go to school. You're going to get an education. And he drove me to school and took me to stuff. And I had to read what the teachers brought home to him, but he always signed it. And that's when I really started getting an education in conservative politics, because I worked for a guy named Dr. Garrett, delivering cows, pigs, and emus and looking at chickens' butts at the veterinarian's office, 7th through 12th grade. And as we were chasing those cows and pigs and emus across Marshall County, I listened to Rush Limbaugh. And as I miss him. Sometimes I turn on the radio and I'm like, he's not there anymore, and it's very sad to me. But nonetheless, I started listening. I was like, wow, what an amazing history we have. Wow, there's a group of people that hate it. Wow, there's people trying to destroy it. Well, this is what makes it exceptional. And so fast forward, I'd worked on U.S. Senate, U.S. House, state and local races, and then wrote a book called How to Raise Money for Political Office, and then I just completely withdrew from politics. There's a lot in between there, and started a big painting business, sold it, and then cooked up something called the Academy for Professional Painting Contractors. So I'm sitting in my office, it's 2020, and I'm working illegally in downtown Chattanooga. They're legally working, and somebody calls and says there's going to be a protest on the Market Street Bridge about all the COVID stuff. I've never been to a protest. I probably will never go again. But these ladies were putting this together, and they didn't really have everything organized in a way that would turn out a crowd. And so I got involved, and we were called Hayseeds and Hicks and everything else because we wanted our churches open and our jobs back, and we were killing grandma. Meanwhile, a week later, Black Lives Matter breaks stuff, destroys stuff in downtown Chattanooga, spray paints things, and they get a mural on Main Street and glowing media coverage. And what I discovered during COVID was that we could not get the truth out of the Tennessee mainstream media. We could not get them to report anything fairly, nor could we get our own Republican Party to do the same thing in Tennessee. And so we cooked up the Tennessee Conservative News, and our big push were those 2 medical freedom sessions in the legislature that rolled back all the nonsense. Do y'all remember that? That's really, a lot of people were kind of asleep. They just thought it happened by happy accident, but there were a handful of folks really organized. Us, Tennessee Stands, Andy Ogles, later on, the mayor of Knoxville, Glenn Jacobs, actually started being vocal about it, and then a few legislators started being vocal about it, and then we were able to undo all of the constitutional mess, about 85% of it, that they had done to us. And so the last 4 years, we've been covering a number of things, and I'm going to share some of them with you here quickly. Does anybody seem to see an illegal immigration problem in Tennessee? I mean, are you sure it's not just in your mind? Are you not making this up? Are you imagining things out of your hatred and racism? No, there's a big problem. We have Tennesseans, I'm kidding you not, being murdered, raped, molested. We report on it every week. There's not a week that goes by that there's not 1 or 2 in there, and those are the ones we can catch. We've got a small staff. Did you know that there's been legislation to stop the mass transportation of illegal aliens into Tennessee, and it's been killed by Republicans? There have been bills to have E-Verify that would cut off the magnets of employment, killed by Republicans. There have been bills brought that would cut off welfare benefits, killed by Republicans in committee. We report on this. You'd never know this if you didn't subscribe to our publication. And if you can go over here to the table, wave your hand, Sylvia. Sylvia, wave your hand, stand up. She's short. Get her. Come on. Get out of this. There you go. If you go see her, we will give you some Tennessee for Trump bumper stickers for signing up for the Tennessee Conservative. We got a few other goodies there. I'll hang around for about 30 minutes after. But I'd love to have you go over there. You got to bring your kids in early, right, so they can see this stuff. There have been bills that would stop the taxpayer funding of education, which costs Tennessee taxpayers about $12,000 a year. That's what it costs you. Every time somebody comes across the border with a family of 3, it costs Tennessee taxpayers $36,000 a year. And we're supposed to be okay with it. And our state leaders, Cameron Sexton, Randy McNally, Bill Lee, and even some folks that were on the list, maybe even some people that spoke here today, have blocked and killed this stuff. It's because they're corporately funded. Here's a few other things you may not know. Did you know that over 90% of the money that comes into Republican leadership in Tennessee comes from outside their district and from corporate special interests? We've done the reports. We report on it. We've counted all the money. We've looked at the sources. And so we've got this huge conflict in our state, guys, where all the votes come from you, but all the money comes from the corporations and the campaigns. And when they have to pick between the GOP primary voter and your desires and the corporate money, what do you think they pick? The corporate money. It's the same thing that kept Bill Lee allowing all the stuff during COVID that happened, telling Christians that they were selfish for going to church, pushing the vaccine, with billboards up and down with your taxpayer money and masks and social distancing and shutting down the schools, everything. All that stuff was happening because of 2 reasons: corporate money and federal money in Tennessee. And I know a lot of people have forgotten about this, but it was a slap in the face to me, and I'll never forget it. And I'm never going to let it happen again if I can help it. Corporate welfare. How many of you think it's a really good idea to spend $2 billion in taxpayer money on the Tennessee Titans Stadium? But you've got Republicans in office right now, folks like Bo Watson, who has a wife that's a lobbyist for that. The corporation gives her the money. He's on the finance committee, and then that money goes into his personal bank account. And this is happening in the legislature. There's 4 or 5 other examples of this. But they're easily and cheaply purchased. They put in a few $1 million to get a few billion out of you. Well, that's a great deal. Who wouldn't put in $1 to get back 10 or 100? And that's what we've got going on. We don't have a GOP in Tennessee. We have a COP. It's a corporately owned party. And you can look at the numbers. And so, guys, let me give you and close with a couple of things that you can do that'll make a difference. I'm watching the time here. Woo, I'm halfway through. I'm going to take questions. I'm going to be the first dang one today to take questions. Right? First one that could shut up the quickest. Here we go. I got 7 minutes left. I'm going to give you a handful of things that you need to do to be effective. If you had to choose between having your feelings reinforced or being politically effective, which would you prefer?
Politically effective.
All right, then. Be careful what you wish for. That's like praying for patience. You don't want to pray for patience. Y'all have asked, so here I'm going to tell you. You need to stop watching OAN and Fox News and everything else that you have no control over, and cut that consumption of podcasts and books about crap you already know about down by about 80%. And then you take that time that you have cut from things you have no control over, and you put it into state and local issues where you can point a finger and say, I made a difference with that, and here's some of the things you can do. You can knock on a door for a candidate. You can show up to events for them. You can work at the polls. You can go up to Nashville once a year and lobby your representatives. Take a group of people with you. That makes a difference. Follow our publication. And when there's a terrible bill, pick up the phone, call folks. When you see your elected representatives in a public venue, ask them tough questions. Bring it to light. You can make phone calls. You can knock on doors. But I'm telling you, You can read books about running. You can listen to podcasts about running. You can watch TV shows about running. But what happens if you don't ever run? Not a damn thing. Nothing. It's just entertainment if we don't do something about it. And here's the final thing I would advise you to do. And this is going to be a painful question. How many of you have written a check to a state or local candidate in this last election cycle? That's a minority. That's a minority. Let me ask you a question before you leave here, and I hope this bothers you all the way home. I hope you wake up in a cold sweat about midnight tonight and go down to the fridge and eat some Little Debbie's, come back. I like to keep mine in the refrigerator. Midnight snack. How do you expect your state and local government to reflect conservative values if you will not invest any time or money to make it happen? Is it supposed to be magic? Is this magically going to happen in Tennessee? The reason the corporations can own these politicians so cheaply in Nashville is because conservative Christians are often politically cheap as hell. I'm telling you, not getting water from a stone. You've got to get off your wallet. Set some kind of budget of time every month and go, okay, I've got this person running for state rep. I'm going to start saving up some money so when it comes time, I can write a $500 check or $250. And some of you have been blessed, as I have been blessed, and yours would be more like $2,500. There are people here that can do it. Get behind these organizations and these candidates financially, because when we let a vacuum form because we will not participate financially, what do the politicians do? They go where the money's the easiest, and the money is the easiest trading favors for corporate dollars financially. That's what happens. Guys, I got my daughter here because I want her to see and hear and know and watch Daddy doing something that's actually politically effective. I can point at bills that we have killed because of our reporting before they ever made it to a committee. I can point to bills that have been passed because of our incessant work. I can point to people who have dethroned incumbents because of our work and my work. Guys, find something you can point to and say, y'all got a big hand in that. I put many hours and lots of money into that, and there's something measurable. I got 2 minutes left. Who has a question? Well, we had a candidate in my backyard, Michelle Renault, who dethroned Patsy Hazelwood, who is the finance chair. Look, probably third or fourth most powerful Republican, had a terrible voting record on illegal immigration, pro-life, Second Amendment, you name it, just terrible all the way around. COVID, awful. Outspent 20-1, we kicked her out of office. And you've got to get involved and start coming. And one other thing, I'm having a candidates academy. Some of you need to be running for office. Go to conservativecandidatesacademy.com, learn how to run. Don't just think because you have an interest that you will win. It is something you have to learn to do. But go to conservativecandidatesacademy.com, and if you sign up over here, I'll send you emails about it before it happens. Yes, ma'am. Helping?
Yeah,
How do we defund the lobbyists? Oh, yeah, but there's taxpayer funding lobbyists up there, which is basically like your county government pays somebody to go up there and lobby for more money at the state at your expense, or they work for the sheriffs, or they work for who's some other good ones, or they just work for like the Child Protective Services. And every time there's a piece of legislation that gets brought that would make them more efficient or effective, they have a lobbyist come up that you pay for to argue against it with your own elected officials. 1 minute left. So, and that bill has been brought and killed by Republicans to stop the taxpayer funding of lobbyists. Yes, ma'am. Oh, how are we funded?
AFP.
Yes, okay. They're saying beg for money. They're telling me to beg for money. I tell you, I got some fans here.
The right people.
You can become a monthly donor. We are completely grassroots supported. That's the only way we can tell the truth. Because I make my money running another company. I don't take any money out of the Tennessee Conservative. I run the Academy for Professional Painting Contractor, and then We have a ton of people all over the state. It's not a huge number, but maybe 1,500 people that give us enough money to pay a handful of reporters to do what we do. And guys, a little bit of money and a whole lot of heart goes a long way politically if you do it right. I just want to thank y'all for coming out here, not being fair weather patriots. You can say, I survived the Freedom Fest. You remember that when it rained and there was a hurricane and it blew through and I had to tie myself to one of those light poles? I remember because I'm a damn patriot.
Build a new road.
I was out there. You weren't out there. You don't even know. All right, guys. Well, I've enjoyed y'all being here. I'm going to be over here. Come say howdy.